Alright guys, welcome to TCG Shop Card Simulator. This is 5 tricks I wish I knew before I played this game. First of all, let's talk about what you need in the game. You are interested in two things in this game: the level of your shop and the amount of money you have. First of all, let's talk about the level of your shop. There are 3 ways to get experience in this game: by selling things. Well, technically 4. By selling things, by playing games, and by opening packs. But you can also get a small amount by buying things in the shop. For example, let me just buy, I don't know, 1 box to show you. You get a small amount by buying stuff, but it's not really worth it. Now, the most efficient way to get XP are honestly 2 ways. This is a trap. This will give you $7 an hour, but and about 15 XP per client. So it's not really worth it. I'll just show you why. This game is based on max amount of NPCs that can spawn. These amounts of NPCs won't let more clients go into your shop, so it will lower the amount of money you make from sales, and will also lower the amount of XP you make because of sales. So the most efficient way to play this game is to don't use the play tables. Now, let's talk about the 2 remaining ways to get experience. First of all is packs. Let's talk about packs. This is the most basic pack in the game. Now, I'll open 8 for you to see how much experience it gives me. I have found that usually these packs give me a range from 8 to 150 experience, depending on the rarity of the cards that you pull, but usually about 15 experience. So this is a very efficient way to level up, and even though you might think that the more rare packs are more efficient to level up, they really are not. For some reason, it seems that the pool of cards that give you ghost cards are shared between all the packs, so even if you think that the more rare packs give you more ghost cards, in my case it hasn't been that way. And if you open a more rare pack, for example one of these, you will see that the average experience it gives me is not much higher than the basic pack. So the most effective way in terms of experience to level up is using the basic packs in terms of experience and money. Now, the value of the legendary pack is actually quite worth it, if you ask me, because from the legendary pack I have actually pulled a few of these cards that have high value. For example, this one. These are from the legendary packs. I have pulled quite a few high value cards from the legendary packs, and I have pulled most of my ghost cards from the common packs. Now, let's talk about selling stuff to clients. Like I said, there seems to be a maximum number of NPCs that can spawn at any time outside of your shop. So what you wanna do is have the least amount of time of the customers in your shop. This means basically you want them to go in and go out as fast as possible. This is a setup that allows me to do that. For example, they go in, they check the counters, they go to the cashier, and they go out. That way I can maximize the amount of clients I have in my store, and by that measure I can maximize the amount of experience I can get because of the clients. That will get me to my next point. I'm sorry if these are not really well separated, but next point are profits. Now, what is more profitable in this game? If you think about it, clients have a chance to come in and have something they desire, right? You can see in the reviews that they might want something that you don't have. But it doesn't really matter that much because, unlike other games, they seem to be able to buy anything if it's during a if it's in a range they think it's a good deal. The range I have found that it's more effective for profit. It's between 10 to 20% more of the market value because they seem to think it's a fair price or pretty cheap depending on the client. If you put it below market value, you will sell more, but you will also have troubles keeping the stock of the store. For example, if I put it below market price, they might buy way more and then I will run out of stock faster, which will mean I have to manually do it myself with the help of him, restocking the place and have to buy more boxes. And that'll take time for me to opening packs. That is basically the way you maximize this game. Is your cashiers tend to the counters while you open packs. Now, it might depend on your game because each game is different. But for example, for me this is a really profitable item. I get about 20, 21, 22 of profit with this one. I also set the price to be the most effective one for the cashiers. What I mean by that, they can give them 40, 50, and 100 or something like that, and it will take way less time than to give them cents. For example, do not put the price where your cashiers have to give cents because that will backlog the amount of clients you have and reduce profits. Now, you can use this time between 8 a.m. and after 9 to do whatever you want because time will not pass on that time, but you can do restocking, you can open cards, you can do whatever you want. But once you open, it can get pretty chaotic depending on what you do. Now I'm gonna show you what happens when I open the store. Now clients seem to have a fixed amount of money for what I've seen. Now a good example of him was him. He wanted an item but also didn't want the item by the price it is. So what happens is he comes in, checks the stock and goes out. That maximizes the time minimize the time he is on the store. It will give me a bad review, but it doesn't really matter because it will allow another NPC to spawn. And I'll get about still 20 profit at the very least per client. And sometimes I'll buy quite a lot of stock. As you can see, most people think it's a fair price. This will allow him to be able to keep up with the demand and keep everything restocked. That way I don't have to do anything. So it's a really good balance in my opinion. Now, if you want to level up faster, you have to reduce your earnings. For example, this market price is 30 with 10 cents, so I'll just put it at 30. I reduce my profits by 25%, but clients should be able to buy quite a bit more. This will allow more people buying in bigger amounts and more XP. So I have 3 cashiers because if you level up your store. For example, they'll start buying a lot with low prices, so it will back up this guy sometimes. He's pretty fast, so he can deal with this very well. I have 3 cashiers because I make a lot of profit. I had 50k at the beginning of the day, and I just restock, bought some things, and expanded the shop. But this is a good balance to level up. The third cashier is so that, for example, if this is started to run low, I can send him to restock. He's pretty slow with the in checking out, but he's okay at the transporting goods to restock. So while they're doing that, I should be opening packs to level up. If I see that they're backlogging for some reason, I can send them to restock and myself man the cash, the checkout. Other thing I wish I knew before I started the game is, for example, if you wanna have whales in the store, you need to level up. It seems that the amount of people and the amount of money they have is really based on the amount of the level of the shop and how expanded it is, including the second shop. But you can have the second shop without anything in it, and it won't make a change because they'll just not get in here. They'll go straight where there is something to buy. And well, that's how you maximize the amount of clients. You just upgrade as much as you can and level up as fast as you can. The profits, you can do this on a new game even. For example, you just have to search for something that is in high enough amount that you won't have to constantly be restocking, but that gives you a good profit. For example, you have the dice, right? The dice are actually really good profit at the beginning of the game and are really early. You can unlock them. For example, you can buy this one for a $5 earnings on each one of them, and sometimes they'll buy 8 or more. So it's not that bad. But for example, the figurines, some of them are really good. The Burpig and the Trickstem seem to be really good, but other ones that are more expensive are not that good because they have really low amounts when you buy them. For example, let's say you want to buy this guy, the Vampika. It only has 3 per box, right? Even though he sells pretty well. Let me go to figurines. He sells at a decent price, but still, since he only has 3 per box, it makes it not that profitable. It's better to have something that they can buy in a huge amount, like the dice, or in my case, like the playmats. For example, I can make up to 20 on profit on each one of these. Even if I sell the figurines at double the price, I'll still make more out of the playmats. I started selling the tabletop games, but I soon realized they're not that effective because you have to constantly restock them, and it becomes really slow. It's better to have something that has a huge amount of units, a good amount of profit, that it's easy to restock so you can keep up the pace. At this level, actually 1 or 2 cashiers are enough. If you have the cashiers slow, like this one, you need 2 cashiers, but if you have the fast cashier, you might only need honestly 1. He's keeping up really well with the the clients really fast, the checkout. But I still keep them because honestly I can just send them to restock. You always say not to if they want to fill up the empty shelves with something else, because that way they won't start putting things you want to open like the cards. I keep my cards here so I can continuously open them by myself. Another experience. So usually two of these send machines are enough, and if you put them together, even though it seems kinda ugly, I honestly it's very rare for them to not get tagged by these two machines when they pass through. So I like that setup. And I have the third machine, but as you can see, it's practically full. And it's been that way since I started doing it, but I put it there because sometimes these machines run out and I don't realize it. And when that happens, it can be pretty annoying. Oh, I think my game just crashed. Oh no, just lag. So yeah, those are my tips and tricks for this game. Oh, one extra. You can actually do these boxes and store them right here. I just collect the ghost cards, so I really don't care. I put in a minimum card 0. I really don't care if it runs out of cards, because there are low value cards that are worthless. So they will always be below $1, and I'm not collecting them. But if you wanna keep at least one copy, you just put one here, and they should be at least keeping you one copy of each card if you wanna collect them. But I don't really do that, so it's all the same. So as you can see, I made about 7 grand, I think, in profit, and I almost sold out my stock, at least what I had on the shelves. It really kept up with the demand, and I have about double what I invested in it. Now these guys are free. You don't have to have 4 employees, by the way. I think just one restocking and one man in the counter, and you can man the other counter if you want. Or even if you want to have 2 manning counters and one restocking, or restock yourself, it should still be fine. But this is the most efficient way I have found of playing this game. Just trying to have as many clients as I can, as short as I can have them, and to be opening packs while they do that. I have about 57 grand in value in my deck because I have so many cards now. I've been opening cards non-stop, and it's okay, I guess. But most of this value is really just trash cards that I won't even sell. And I could put the card table back on and start selling high value cards, but I found out this way was better, because on the play table they'll still do some time checking out the cards and going around it to check the other side. So this setup actually has worked better for me. But I don't know. Let me think. Let me say leave a comment saying what you think. Storing the packs here is nice, but I don't think you earn that much by selling these ones. So it's not really that much worth it. And about employers, you honestly don't even need this guy. You can just have, with this level of shop, you can just use Cole and this guy, and they will be enough. So yeah, Let me know what you think, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.